I will be spending a few minutes over here just to go over how we're going to be running this program so that you have an idea of how we do things here at TrainingRite. First thing first, I once again want to congratulate you for taking this course because this is the best 4 weeks of investment of your time that you would be putting in, because you would definitely reap the benefits and you would see the benefits in the next 4 weeks. What we're going to be doing as a part of this course is not something that would be considered as a waste of time, because what we will be doing is going to be extremely productive from your professional career. We will be learning to create excellent automated testing scripts. I do understand we have folks who might not have experience with writing scripts, writing code and all that. That's perfectly all right. What we will be doing is we're going to be putting in a lot of efforts in this next 4 weeks so that we come to a point where after these 4 weeks we will be well versed when it comes to like writing automated scripts, testing web applications using Selenium. Now, things are not going to be very easy, but at the same time, this is no rocket science. We are not talking about, you working for NASA or anything like that, wherein you have to keep pulling your hair every day, because the work is going to be extremely challenging and at certain points, maybe sort of like a torture. Here, nothing like that is going to happen. So here, we expect you to focus and walk through what we suggest you to do as a part of this course. So the next 4 weeks, we will be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Wednesday. The total number of hours in this course is going to be 16 hours. 16 hours you and me will be meeting for the next 4 weeks. But apart from that, we will be giving you about, as you see over here, we'll be giving you about 40 to 60 hours of videos. These videos, I don't want to call it as a mandatory, but it is pretty close to mandatory that you watch these videos. Because there's so much we could do, as a part of this live session. We're going to be doing our best to cover as much as we can. I am not going to cut corners. I'm not going to trade the quality because for one, we have been providing this training for a little over 4 years, and we have been rated as one of the best place to get your training, and we have been providing corporate training to many of the companies out there. So I have to live up to that expectation. So I will do my best to transfer this knowledge in the next 4 weeks. Now, it's going to be like a handshake, meaning that I extend my hand and I expect you to grab it and then make the best use of it. So what are the expectations from me, and what are the expectations from you? Basically, I think as a trainer, you expect me to teach you in a certain way that you can understand what's going on. And it would take about on an average like 2 hours for you to figure out where we are going to be going after this session. So either you would come back and take the training, or you would not come back. And it's fine. I mean, that is how you are going to evaluate how we will be doing as a part of this course. What is the objective? The end goal here is you are not coming here to spend your time with me as a hobby. You want to get some knowledge. And that is what is the challenge is upon me to make sure that I transfer that knowledge to you. And I'm going to be doing my best to do that. Now, fast forward 4 weeks, you would have learned everything that is listed in here. So if you click on the Selenium training on TrainingRite.com on our website, you will get to see the course contents in here as what we're going to be covering as a part of this course. Now, I will be covering more, but not less of what you're seeing in here. So every little thing what you see in here would be covered as a part of the live session plus the videos, meaning that let's say in the next 16 hours, if I'm unable to cover every little bullet as a part of this, online sessions, that doesn't mean that I will not be covering that topic. You will be given, the training on everything that we are listing in here, some through the live sessions, some through the videos. All right. So we'll make sure that majority of what you would be learning, the most important things, we do that through this live sessions. But again, I mean, we can't promise that everything would be covered, so that's why we will be giving you those videos. All right, now that you have an idea of what we'll be covering, if you go through these bullets, I'm not gonna, read to you all of these bullets because I have much more interesting things to do rather than reading it out. And in fact, you will probably be surprised that I never use a PowerPoint, and PowerPoint is supposed to be the default way of providing trainings. And if you have attended trainings, many a times people, they try to read off the PowerPoint, and unfortunately I don't do that, because this training is going to be 100%, right? Hear me again, 100% hands-on. The only time you find me talking is probably like the first session, and that too because I have to lay out the plot, and I got to make sure that what is coming in future, so I got to let you guys folks know about what is coming. So that is the reason I will be doing some talking in day one session. But then after that, it's all going to be hands-on, completely hands-on. So I will not be reading stuff from the PowerPoint. That is not going to be done. So it's going to be total hands-on. So fast forward 4 weeks, what are we going to achieve from this training? You will learn enough that if you go to dice.com and then if you look for jobs in Selenium, you would be probably not surprised because of the fact that Selenium has come along a long way, compared to the other tools. So there are a lot of jobs in Selenium right now, right? But at the same time, they expect you to know some stuff. So if you go to dice.com and you do a little research on the Selenium jobs, you'll find that all over the country, from California to Texas to North Carolina to Minnesota to in New York to New Jersey, all over the country, there are tremendous opportunities when it comes to Selenium, right? Now, I want you to hear me and hear me good. This is not going to happen if there are like 15 people in this session. Not all 15 are going to get these jobs. Probably a dozen of you, right? Now, let's look into why would be the other 3 or 4, why would they not get jobs when compared to the other 12? The reason for that is we will give you out assignments. There are going to be 8 assignments as a part of this training session. And in those assignments, we will be teaching, we will rather be asking you to do things that you will be asked in the interviews. The questions they would be asking you in the interviews and the scenarios they probably would be asking you to work on a real-life projects, we will be covering here in our training. So what I strongly, strongly recommend and suggest that you never give up on those assignments. You have to complete those assignments. Now, one of the ways to gauge yourself and find whether you are learning or not is not because I have to tell you that, yes, you know what, yes, you are learning or you're not learning. No, you would get to know yourself. Day 1, sort of like easy stuff. Day 2, also like, easy. But starting from day 3 onwards, it's going to be real challenging stuff. Nothing of the sort that you cannot do. But at the same time, I'm not going to, again, I'm repeating myself, I'm not going to compromise the quality because we have to learn everything what is being used in the real life. So when you get out of here, when you sit on the interview across the table with the interviewer, you should be able to, convince, you should be able to, he or she or that team who is interviewing you, they should be thinking 10 times before rejecting you, right? So you will be learning enough of stuff that you will be forcing them to come up with a valid reason not to hire you. Meaning that technically I can guarantee you, I mean, probably there could be some other reason, like if you go and sit in an interview, if you profusely start sweating, or if you are like not looking, because there are things that you got to do in the interview. You got to, you have to learn those tricks of taking the interview, which of course as a part of this training I will also be giving you some hints here and there as the do's and the don'ts as a part of the interviews is concerned. But coming back to the technical stuff, 8 assignments is what we expect you to complete. And if you complete all those 8 assignments, I can guarantee you right now, I can guarantee you that you would be getting a very good job. Right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the dollars that you could expect. Selenium right now is hot all over the country for one reason, and that is Selenium is open source. Right? Open source means it's sort of like they don't really have to spend a lot of money buying the licenses to do the automation testing. So the testing, the software is going to be free. So before even you lift your finger, if you are using QTP, the company has to spend almost like $40,000-$50,000 to get the licenses of QTP to start using QTP. Compared to Selenium, Selenium is absolutely free. But then again, there is a misconception out there that if something is free, probably it's not valuable. Right? Now, that fear, that misconception has been laid to rest when a company of the magnitude of Google had basically implemented Selenium. If Google does it, probably then that there is some real good value to it. And that is one of the reasons a lot of big Fortune 50, Fortune 500 companies are jumping on board and then using Selenium as the software to do the testing because it's an open source. Now is the time to learn the open source things, right? So, and that's what we provide. If you're still shopping around whether you should go and take this training from us or from some other company, well, I respect that and I appreciate the fact that, you are shopping around and you should do that. That is your right. Now, take a look at, how we do it and what kind of trainings we are doing. Everything under the sun that the automation testing is, we are trying to provide that, and then we will make sure that you get the quality. And it's not just about the training. Training is good. I mean, you learn something new, but you have to put it to use. And the putting it to use is through you getting a job, as soon as you finish this. And only those folks would get jobs who would complete the assignments, because certain assignments are very challenging and that will teach you how to do things. Now, I don't want to throw out terms like buzzwords and use terminology that would scare you, but at the same time, I got to refer that we will be creating frameworks. We will be creating frameworks. These frameworks are sort of like the reusable frameworks, something which are easy to maintain, and we will be using the cutting edge things which are being used in the market right now. So when you are working on a project, you would have almost done everything that they ask you to do in this training. So we are talking about JUnit frameworks. We will be covering that. TestNG frameworks, we'll be covering that. There's a concept of object-oriented programming. Using object-oriented programming, you will be building page objects and then creating your framework using maintainable code and reusable code. That we will be doing using that. We'll be learning about Ant. We'll be learning about Maven. We'll be learning about some tools like Tortoise, and we'll be using like SVN. We'll be using everything, from basic to intermediate to an advanced level. All that stuff would be covered, right? Okay, so I am positive 100% that this training is definitely going to help you. Now, I can assure you more than 100% I will do my job. That I can assure you. Now it has to come from your side, and your side is the investment to come from the time point of view. 16 hours you would be spending through this live trainings. On top of that, you have to watch those videos and you have to do the assignments, right? So let's say if you are going to be busy, because these are summer months now, if schools are closing, if you have your vacations plan, or if your mother-in-law is coming in here and you got to take care of her, well, don't take this training. I know I'm shooting myself in my foot. I'm killing my business, but that's fine. Because I am not going to become rich taking your $400, but at the same time, I want you to get the best value of this training, and that is only possible if you put your hours. So if you find yourself going to be busy in the next month or so, then I would say come back later, do it later, because this, I will keep you on your toes. I promise you, I will keep you on your toes. I will give you so much of assignments to do, and you will, not to torture you, not to make, look bad or anything like that, but the reverse of it, meaning that I want you to look good. When you sit in that interview, you should be very confident, right? Let them ask questions. You should be able to do that. Okay, with that said, let's talk a little bit about how we're going to be running this program. So the way we're going to be running this program is everything is online. It's an interactive session. So a dozen to 15 people are usually there in this batch, every batch, and we will try to make it very interactive, meaning that if you have any questions, you're going to be asking me questions, and I will do my best to answer your questions right here and right in this session. Sometimes if you talk to me about a topic which is off from what we are covering on that particular day, I would refer you to either bring that question offline, or you could watch the video, but I will be in touch with you to try and help you come to a resolution as how to fix whatever question you're asking. We provide you constant training, not just through this online session of like 2 hours coming in here. The other way of you getting constant help from us is, once you register with us, we will put you into what is called our private forums. So those are our Google groups. So you would be given access to our groups. And let me show you. Once I sign in, you will see that we have a bunch of groups in here, because I am the admin. So you could see that we have like so many groups in here. We provide different courses and all that. Let me take you into Selenium group. So in Selenium, probably we have more than 3,000 to 4,000 students that we would have trained in the past like 3 to 4 years or so. So there are a lot of activity going on in here. So at any given time, if you have any question, you're going to go in here and do a little research for that. So let's say if you want to do something about databases. So once you hit database, you'd find that there is previously students who have taken this training, they also might have some issues with how to connect to the database. So here is some code about that. So you can look into the code. You can see what others they went through. So if you have any question, first of all, do a little bit research in our own Google group, and you should find the solution to that. Now, otherwise, what I would ask you to do is post a question. So the way you're going to be posting a question is you're going to go into here, new topic, and then you would give it a subject line, and then you would ask your question here. Now, if you are struggling with your assignment, and if you are not able to understand something, or if you're not able to, your code is not working, try and give some details about it. So, describe the problem and all that, so that once you do that, it not only comes to me as a trainer, but it also goes to so many other students who have taken this course in the past, and majority of them working on big, good projects. So they will be very helpful to you as well. So they're going to go and then help you out, and they will say that, okay, you have made a mistake here, try this, try that. So you're going to be getting help constantly, any time of the day. We have students from Australia, we have students from New Zealand, we have students from UK. So even though it is late in the night here, I probably would be sleeping, but when you post a question at 3 o'clock in the morning, it is afternoon in probably in Australia or in UK. So somebody would be responding you from there. So it's a constant 24/7 sort of like learning. You would get some sort of support from there. The other thing is our videos. You will be given a lot of videos, and you can go in and watch these videos from the previous batches. So I want you to come prepared for the session, meaning that, just watch those videos. As you can see, we have so many courses that we have done in the past, so in different courses and all that. If I take you into any of the Selenium, like the Selenium January 2000. So every batch, there will be 8 videos, 2-hour long videos. So you would be seeing those videos. So I will be giving you access to at least 3 batches. So you should have those videos with you. You should be able to watch the videos. the reason we give out those 3 batches is because you don't really have to attend these live trainings and wait for the training to finish for you to apply for jobs. Let's say if you seriously want to apply for jobs like in the next week. So with these videos, you can just go and then watch these videos for all 1 week, try to do the assignments, sleep less, work more, and then you're already all set to take the interviews within the next 2 weeks. So you don't even have to wait for the course to finish. You can get all the information from the videos. So we have videos, we have this Google group, and then of course we have these live sessions. So it's sort of like a complete package that you're going to be getting as a part of this training. Okay, now that introduction to how we run it and how we do it is over. Now let me just get into the program right now. So let's get started with the course. Now before I do that, let me take a little pause in here and ask you folks if you have any questions. If you find me talking a little fast, or if you find me talking slow, if you think that you are unable to understand my accent, anything, just let me know, right? The whole idea here is make it very productive so that your 2 hours, when you come to this session, when you enter into the session at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and when you leave at 10 o'clock, before you come and after you leave, your knowledge level should go up, right? And I can give you 110% guarantee that every session you come in here, you will leave satisfied, you would leave happy, because you would have learned significant amount of stuff in those 2 hours. And that is my promise to you. That I can assure you, right? And that is the reason we have a lot of people, they try to start off with us with one course, right? They take one course and eventually they end up taking all of these other courses. So they go with like a 6 course and they'll so it's, rather than me talking about it, let the training talk, and let you decide after you attend the session whether you would like to continue with it or not. So with that said, let us get started. Since there are no questions, let me go and then start. Okay, so we're going to be working with Selenium. All right. So question is, what is Selenium? What is Selenium, and how much of Selenium do we need to know? Now there is so much of hype about something called Web Driver, right? A lot of people they say, are you covering Web Driver, right? Okay. First of all, the answer to that question is out of 8 sessions we're going to have, like 7 sessions will be about Web Driver. So that tells you that that should answer the question, are you covering Web Driver? Well, I mean 95% of the course is all about Web Driver, right? Okay, now why did they post that question? Why did they ask, will you be covering Web Driver? Because Selenium comes as Selenium IDE, Selenium RC server. RC stands for remote control. So Selenium comes as IDE, RC server, and Web Driver. These are sort of like 3 different flavors, if you may, of the Selenium, right? So if you go back to today, if you see here in the timeline, Selenium is, I would say that it was born around, or it became a little bit popular around, I would say 2009. Right? It was struggling in its infancy stages with issues and all that. But today, as we fast forward in the year 2014, it's the hottest thing which is out there, right? So when 2009, there was no Web Driver at that time. So it was only IDE and RC server, right? And of course, I'm going to be walking you through what is IDE, RC server, and Web Driver, and all that within few more minutes. You'll get to know. So if you go back in time, you will find that IDE was very popular, then RC server became very popular. Today, the name of the game is Web Driver. So if at all, if there is one thing that you need to know today, that will be Web Driver. But there are also chances that if you walk into a project, that project might be having some scripts that are written in RC server. So it is better if we have an idea of all the three players, right? So IDE, RC, and WebDriver. Though the focus is going to be WebDriver, right? That's what we will be doing. The focus is going to be WebDriver. Now, Selenium is an automated, testing tool, software testing tool. What is your understanding of the word automation? When it comes to automation, automation is something beyond the manual testing, right? Meaning that with manual testing, of course, you will have your test cases, and then you will test your test cases, and you're looking for what is the actual, value versus what is the expected value, and then comparing that, you would mark your test as a pass or a fail. Now, if you have to keep doing it again and again using your manual testing, it is a tedious process, right? You would get tired, and it is prone to errors, and then it is going to take a number of weeks, if not months, to complete your project. So that's why you have to get into automation, so that you could do things soon, faster, right? So how are you going to do it faster? By creating scripts. Scripts are nothing but small programs. So when you're talking about programs, that means that you have to know some programming language. So what programming language can I use in order to do Selenium? Well, Selenium supports many programming languages. There is Java that you could use. You could use C#.NET. You could use Perl. You could use Python. You could use Ruby. You could use any different languages. Now, are we going to be covering all of these languages? The answer, blunt and candid answer, is no. I will not be covering everything, because it won't do justice. I mean, we have, for whatever business reason, to keep the cost on a reasonable level, we provide 16 hours of training for under $400, and we cannot be doing everything of everything. So that is one reason. But that is not the important reason. The most important reason is supply and demand, right? You don't want to do something that doesn't have a demand. So what is the demand of the day when it comes to Selenium? Now, if you look for jobs on dice.com, many a times they're asking that you should know Selenium and Java. Well, there is a rare possibility that they are asking a combination of Selenium and Python and Selenium and Ruby. Now, if that is not the norm, if that is not in demand, that is a rare thing, why bother about it, right? Now, with that said, only because we understand that there might be a need that they would be asking you things like that, we will give you some supporting one or two videos on how to do it with C#, how to do it with Python, how to do it with Ruby, how to do it with Perl, and all that, right? But that is going to be very minimal level. So the focus of the course is Java. That's what we will be focusing on. Now, that brings us to a very interesting question. That is, I don't know anything about Java, you say. You say that, look, I'm not a programmer. I don't know anything about Java. Now, how do you think that I'm going to get benefited out of this course? Well, that is a valid concern that you have, that you don't know Java. Now, if you don't know Java, well, how are we going to get the best, value out of your investment in this course? Well, it is a required thing. You have to know Java, because you'll be writing your scripts in Java. Now, how are we at TrainingRite going to handle that situation that you don't know Java? Well, we're going to be teaching you Java. We will teach you Java. So take my word, I will teach you Java, right? Now, how much of Java do you need to know? Java is a programming language that is used by programmers, right? Programmers, they use Java. And right now, these automated testers, poor souls, have been tasked to know about Java. So are you going to compare a programmer and a tester? Are they going to be in the same level? No, his job or her job as a programmer is totally different. They are supposed to know every little piece of object-oriented programming, every little thing of object-oriented programming. There is something called abstraction, right? There is something called data hiding. There is something called polymorphism. There is something called inheritance. There is something called parent class, child class. There is something called a constructor. There is something called a destructor. There is something called overloading. There is something called overriding, overloading, overloading of the constructors, overriding of. So there's many things, right? So they have to develop, they have to create, they have to build applications. We are not building applications, but we are building scripts to test those applications. So we are not on the same level. We are not on the same level, right? So we have to know Java, not like a programmer, but like a tester. So whatever tester needs to do, that part of Java, I promise that I would be teaching you. I would be teaching you enough of Java so that you can do the following. And trust me, people try to, for no reason, they try to, scare you with, talking about so many things that you got to know and all that. Think about it. Any language you are learning, right? Any language you are learning, you have to know any programming language that you would be learning in order to do scripting. In our case, Java. What do you have to know? You have to know basically about things like variables. You have to know things about variables. You have to know something called arrays, right? You should know what is a variable. You should know what are arrays. What are different types of arrays? In there is a single dimensional array, right? Single dimensional array, and then there is a multiple dimensional arrays, right? So we have to look into that, right? And trust me, knowing about variables, nothing I am doing here is exaggeration. We are all adults here. I don't think, and I'm positive I don't have any teenagers in this section. Not that we don't like them, but teenagers are teenagers. Their mind is not, stable. I mean, 1 second they think something, and the next second they think something else, right? So we are all adults, all reasonable, responsible people who can understand when I'm trying to say something. So when I say that probably it will take about 5 minutes for any person to understand the concept of variables, I am not exaggerating that. It will take 5 minutes for you to understand variables. Probably for arrays, maybe about 1 hour, let's say, right? So these are the topics. You don't really need more than an hour to understand the concept of arrays, right? Because it's simple, right? Not because it's simple to me because I've been doing it for 18 years, right? I have been, eating, drinking, breathing, smoking, everything of this programming, right? For past 18 years. Now, I am not from that background telling you that it will take 1 hour only if you have like 18 years. Anybody, it will take like an hour, the most probably like 2 hours, not anything more than that. So any programming language, you should know about variables, you should know about arrays, you should know about functions. I mean, functions, right? Third topic, let's say functions. Take probably like the most, I am being very, very conservative with my assigning the amount of hours to it. I mean, some of you folks will be so smart that you would come back and you would come back and you would say that, hey, you mentioned that it'll take 2 hours for me to understand functions. I understood it in like half an hour. Guess what? It should take half an hour. I'm just exaggerating the fact and then saying that it takes 2 hours, but it is going to take a lot more less time than that. So these are the topics that we'll be covering as a part of Java. I'll be showing you about variables, how to use them in your script, arrays, how to use them in your script, functions we'll be writing as how to use them in your script. Then we'll be talking about something called conditional logic, right? What is conditional logic? A conditional logic, I mean, programming is all about, because your script will also be, is nothing but a small program. So it will be using something like if statements, right? Conditions. If something is this, then I want to do this. Otherwise, else, I want to do something else. So we'll be using if, else if, right? Things like that. Then we'll also be using something like, so that would be like the fourth topic. And then we'll be using something like loops, right? So we got to, if we have to continuously do something, right, then we have to learn as how to write a loop, right? So these are the basic constructs of any programming language, not Java, any programming language. Now, different tools, they use different programming language. Now, if you're working with, let's say, SOAP UI as a tool, that uses a programming language called Groovy, right? What do you think Groovy is going to do? Well, in Groovy, again, you have variables, you have arrays, you have functions, you have conditional logic, you have loops. So every programming language, you have these things. If you go to VB script, which you have learned probably while doing QTP, we did the same thing, right? So using these things, we are going to do what? Build. Build what? Build frameworks. We're going to be using these things to build frameworks. Why do you need a framework? Basically, framework will have your complete code that you would be creating in the framework. That will be using your functions, your arrays, your variables, your logic, conditional logic, if statements, your loops. Along with that, we'll be using things like we'll be writing to the logs. We'll be taking some screenshots. If you have say, for instance, if you have a bug, right? So you got to report that bug to your developer. So how do you do that? You got to take a screenshot of that. So we will be learning as how to, create logs, how to take screenshots, and how to do things called data-driven testing, where your data is going to be sitting in an Excel sheet. So this is an Excel sheet. So we will be creating something called a reusable functions. These reusable functions, these are like you create them once and then you could use them in any project you have. Let's say if you are continuing with Selenium, you'll find that your investment of this little $300-400 that you're spending over here, you would be using it forever as long as you're working with Selenium, because fast forward 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, the same code that you will take away from this course, you would be putting in your project and then you would be using it, right? So reusable functions to connect to external repositories like Excel, right? We will be using that. Now, sometimes the data is going to be not just in Excel, probably it is going to be in a database, right? So if the data is going to be in a database, can I create a reusable function so that I could connect to the database? Of course. Will you be showing that? Of course I will be showing you that, right? Now, you can take a look at that right now. Once you get into this course, you see that we have done all that, right? So if you see here, this SQL parametrization. So if you look into it, all this code is right here. All this code is all written and all that, all this code. Now, right now, you will not be able to understand anything of it, right? Of course, I don't expect you to know. Now let's say if I'm learning, French, and day one, if you tell me to write a novel in French, I can, right? So I'm trying to show you something that you will be learning, right, in this 1 month, right? So as an example, Excel, right? Excel, and when I do that, so hundreds of students in the past, they have done this. They have these questions, helper functions for data para. So the whole code, everything is here. So when you are done with this course, the relationship is not going to end right there and then, because you can keep coming back. This forum will be open to you. You can still be posting your questions and doing things like that, right? Okay, so coming back to how much of Java am I going to learn? Will it be enough for it? I think I did answer that through what I just explained you. Now let me take any questions if you have, because I've been continuously talking for 45 minutes, and we promised that we will make it as an interactive session. So let me see if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, then there are 2 reasons for you not to have a question. Number one reason that you don't have a question is because probably you are not paying too much of an attention, and then you don't know what is happening in here. You're like, I don't know what this guy is talking about. He's just babbling for past 45 minutes. I don't know, maybe I'm in the wrong place here, right? That could be one reason, right? And then, you don't know what you want to ask. The other reason could be, you are so mesmerized with this with this presentation that you are getting every word which I'm telling, you are understanding, and you like it, and you say that, well, I understood for past 45 minutes what this guy is saying. So since I understood everything, probably there is nothing for me to ask. But if there is a question, I will definitely ask. So now the question is, how are you going to ask me a question? There are two ways you could ask me a question. One is you could, right now I have all of you muted rather. So if you are singing a song in your living room or wherever you're watching this from, I am not hearing that. Right? The reason we do that, we mute you, is because you might have a puppy which is barking, and I don't want that to become a distraction for the whole session. So, but that doesn't mean that you cannot be asking a question. If you want to ask a question, you will just click on that icon, that palm like a wrist like a thing. When you click on that, it'll flash next to your name. And I know that, oh, Sherry wants to ask a question, or Shobha would like to ask a question, Samir would like to ask a question, or Rashmi would like to ask a question, or anyone for that matter, right? Forgive me if I did not take your name. So you could be asking me any questions by voice. The other way is passive way of asking a question. Just, type your question in the chat window. So while you are typing that question, and if I am in the middle of something and if I'm not answering, that doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. That would be the last thing in my life that I would ever ignore my student. I would never do that. But I probably am so indulged in my thought that I want to finish my thought process, right, and then come to you and then answer your question. So never feel that I'm ignoring your question. I will not. In fact, at the end of this session, I'm going to go over each and every question and then make sure that I will respond to it. There's a question here: how long does it take to master Selenium? Well, I am again not to boast or not to say anything big about it. The word mastering is a big word. I don't think anybody had ever mastered anything, let alone Selenium, but I get your question. I was just kidding with that master. But to know enough of Selenium that you could get past by like all the challenges that are thrown your way, probably I would say that it all depends on your effort. So on an average, you're talking about like 40 to 60 hours that you might have to spend in order to really get everything out of it. 16 hours, anyhow, you're going to do it. Right? Another 16 hours, the assignments and all that, you would do it. So that's like around 30, 32 hours we are talking about. The other 10, 15 hours, you have to watch the videos and all that. So maximum, I would say, somewhere between 40 to 50 hours if you religiously make a habit that every day I'm going to put like an hour or two every day. So, I'm talking about 40 to 50 hours, right? So if you put like 4 hours a day, divide 60, let's take the big number, 60. Divide 60 by 4 hours a day, so you know how many days it will take for you to master it. But if you don't do 4 hours every day, then if you take like 2 hours every day and 60 hours, then you know that probably like you would take like 2 months or what, right? So that's up to you. How much time will we spend learning Java? Will it be continuous? Okay, Java will be taught throughout this 8 sessions, but not today. Today I'm not going to be starting Java, but starting from next class, we will be constantly be learning Java. Right? I will focus particularly on one session wherein I will leave everything and talk only about Java for like an hour, hour and a half. I will not do Selenium, but I will teach you everything about Java for like an hour, hour and a half, and that would give you enough of information that you would have strong legs to run with. Right? And you would have enough of knowledge of Java that you would understand when we are writing the code. Now, one thing I want you to take from this is you will be very proud that you made this decision, that you are going for this, unless you are undecided with your own efforts. Because you have to put in the efforts. If you think that you could put in like 30, 40, 50 hours in the next month or month and a half or 2 months, you're all set, you're all good. That's what I need from you. Okay, with that said, let us get going here. Let us do something. All right, so coming back to Selenium, as we have been saying, that it is an automated testing tool, meaning that you have to write some scripts with Selenium. But having said that, that is not the only way that you could do your testing, that you have to write the scripts all the time. Every tool you take, majority of the tools, they have the option of record and run. Right? So Selenium also has that option of record and run. So you could record your actions and then you could basically go and then run them. Now, I will show you everything about recording and running right now. right? At the end of this session, you will be almost very confident of recording any application and then running it and then doing the testing, right? Okay. In real life, what is the value of doing the recording and running? If you go for a job, how much of it would help you? If you are attending an interview for a Selenium position, and if you say that I can record and run, they might probably not even bother to continue with the interview, and then they would say, thank you so much for being here, and we'll let you know and we'll inform you if there is a need. Because nobody these days will hire a Selenium automation tester to do the record and run. Nobody would do that. You are required to know as how to write the scripts. Now, if it is difficult, so be it, because you are getting paid for that. What is the going rate for a Selenium automation tester? Now, that depends on what part of the country you live in. So if I go back and then if I say that, well, if you are in New York, if you are in Boston, if you're in California, if you're in East Coast or West Coast, don't be surprised if they pay you somewhere between $45 to $75, depending on your experience. Now, I have more than a dozen of you folks attending this session. Some of you might have 8 years of experience with a different tool, right? You might be a QTP expert, you might be some other tool expert, and you want to get into Selenium. So they respect the fact that you have a real experience with some other tool, and they might be willing to offer you somewhere in the vicinity of $65 to $70 per hour. So I have students who have taken courses from me, and they are making somewhere around $70, $72. Right? They're making that kind of money on they're working with financial brokerages. Right? I don't want to give the name of the company, but they are working with that company, and then they're making like $72 per hour. Now, there are 2,000 hours in a year if you work full time, right, as a contractor. So multiply 72 times 2,000. Forget about 2. Multiply 70 times 2,000. That is $140,000. Believe it or not, testers do make that kind of money. Testers do make that kind of money, but it is only possible for experienced people. Let's come back to the other side of it. Now, on the other side, you are starting off, and then you are talking about, okay, I'm an entry-level person, right? What kind of money I could expect? Somewhere around like, $38, $40, $42 an hour if you're like an entry level, right? And again, if you're on the East Coast or West Coast, probably put it as $45, $47 per hour. Decent money. $45 times 2,000 is $90,000. Decent money, decent career, good career, right? Something which is going to keep you employed for a long time, provided you respect that technology keeps changing and you have to keep learning and making yourself abreast of the new technologies that are going to come out in future, right? So bottom line of the story here is there is a market for this skill set. That is the reason companies like us, training companies, we are flourishing, we are in business, not because you are coming here to take as a hobby. You are coming because you want a job and people are getting jobs, right? So enough said about that. Let us get going and then start doing some automation. So we were talking about Selenium coming in 3 forms: IDE, RC Server, Web Driver. This one and this one would require you to code, meaning you have to write the program, and we'll be using Java language to do that. So on day 1, you agree with me that I cannot teach you Java and everything on day 1. So day 1, our focus is this, right? Selenium IDE. What are we going to do here? We will be learning as how to record and run the scripts. So very soon, you will be doing automation. Believe it or not, you will be doing automation using Selenium IDE. Okay, first thing first. On your machine, do you have Selenium? What is Selenium? Do I have it on my machine or not? Before even you do anything, the first thing that you got to do after this session is over is, oh, do I have Java on my machine? So the way you test whether you have Java on your machine or not is you come and click on the start button, type CMD, short for command CMD, and then it's going to bring you to this command prompt. Here, type Java space hyphen version, right, and hit enter. Now it's going to take a blink of an eye, and then it's going to come back and say that, yeah, you have Java and you have this version of Java. Chances are on your machine you already have Java without you knowing it, right? chances are you don't have Java. Let's say if you don't have Java, how does it look? So think about this as the command that you are giving. Don't give JJAVA, but just to show it to you, think that this is Java you have typed. And if you don't have Java, this is what it is going to tell you. Java. Imagine this is Java. Java is not recognized as an internal or external. If it does that, right, please do not type 2Js, please. Please. I had some students in the past who would, you told me to type Java, I typed that. I have Java, but I don't have JJava. Please, no JJava, right? That I showed you just to make a point. Anyway, so if you don't have Java, where do you get Java from? Well, you know, every now and then you have to forgive me because you know, you know, teaching can become boring, can become monotonous if I'm doing the same thing again and again. And then for you to have your concentration for 2 hours, you know, hearing me talking, you would get bored too. So you have to forgive me for inserting some here and there, some small little stories in here, so that, you know, we sort of like try to make it a little interesting. So when I was doing my master's in computer science, going back many years in the year 1997, 1998, internet was just in its infancy stage, right? Now, don't tell me that you were not born, because I keep hearing that many times. Oh, I was not even born at that time. Come on, you were born. You were born. Don't tell me you were not born. 98 was not that like in a previous century or what. Okay, so basically in 1997, 1998, when we were doing, when I was doing my master's, when I was given, you know, my semester load of work and all that to do our assignments and task and project work and all that, there was no Google then. Yahoo was just like not even a search engine. There was no content at all. What are you going to search when there is nothing there? Right? So we really had to pull our hair out at that time to study. That was some real effort, my friend, that we have put in. Today, our best friend, much better than your own spouse, is Google. I mean, probably if you are married or if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you might not talk to your spouse or to your boyfriend or girlfriend enough as much as you talk to Google. Every day you talk to Google. You are searching for something. If you are from the Indian subcontinent, you are looking always for some IPL, some cricket game or something, or you're looking for your Shah Rukh Khan or whatever. You are doing Googling all the time, right? We will use our Google for Selenium, right? Anything related to Selenium, right? Okay, so I want to do what? I want to download Java because I don't have Java on my machine. Right? So how do I do that? I bring my friend and I say, hey, help me download Java, right? You got to spell it right though, right? So when you say download Java, Google being your friend, it will bring you to multiple links in here, and then you could go and then you could download Java from here. There are many links. Precisely, you should be downloading something called Java JDK, right? Which is the Java development kit. Right. So for JDK, Oracle is the company that owns Sun Microsystems, and Java is from Sun Microsystems, and Oracle have bought them out. So you will find it on Oracle website. So when you click on that, it'll bring you to that site. And as you can see here, first thing first, it'll bring you to this site. And if you need, not that you guys need it, but if you need, occasionally I will be doing this. I'll be giving you the links of whatever we need so that you could, you know, if you need, you could copy paste that and then make your own notes or whatnot. So once you go to this page, this thing pops up on the download tab. You can go and download Java. Right? Okay, so you have to accept the license, and then you have to go and then you have to download it. So downloading, what am I going to download, right? So am I going to be downloading on a 64-bit or a Windows, or what do I have? Well, that depends on the machine that you are using. Of course, majority of us, we are using Windows machines, right? But Windows machines, they come in 32-bit and 64-bit. How would I know whether I have a 32-bit machine or a 64-bit machine? Well, for that, you will go to Start, and then you will go to Control Panel. Once you go to Control Panel, probably you are seeing something like this, right? So for one, I like my large icons, so I just go in here and choose my large icons, and I'm looking for something called System. So when I click on the system icon, that is going to take me here to this page, and on this page I get to know that I have a system that is a 64-bit operating system, right? And what operating system I have? I have a Windows, of course. Windows this come in Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows this, Windows that. So you get to know that, right? Now, do you need any particular operating system like Windows 7 it has to be, or it has to be Windows XP? Well, any latest operating system works. Windows 8 will also work. Windows 7 will also work. Windows XP will also work. What do I prefer? I prefer Windows 7. Not because I like it, but majority of the corporations where you will happen to be working are using Windows 7 right now. So I would say that try to mimic the same environment. Try to have the same environment that you expect to use at work. So at work they will be using Windows 7. So I want your machine should also be Windows 7. XP is not being supported any longer by Microsoft. So if you have XP, don't worry about XP. Try to upgrade yourself to Windows 7. Windows 7 comes as Home Edition. Windows 7 comes as a Pro. Windows 7 comes as Ultimate, because I provide a lot of trainings and stuff like that, so I need Ultimate, so that's what I have. You don't need to have Ultimate. You're fine even if you have Home Edition or if you have a Pro Edition. I would recommend that you should have a Windows 7 Professional. That would help. Okay, I have somebody raise their hand. I don't know whether they want to ask me a question or was that just an mistake or what. So let me see who that was, and if it is, I will ask Larry, I guess. Larry. So I will unmute you, Mr. Larry. Go ahead if you have a question. Go.
No, just a mistake.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there was a feedback. Okay, will this work on Windows 8? Yes, Aisha, this will work on Windows 8. You'll be fine if you have Windows 8. That should be fine. Okay, now that we have an idea of 64 versus 32, you could go and then you could download the Java JDK. Okay, now I'm not going to download, but downloading this would be just clicking on it. This is the size of it. If you look into the size of it, it is about 170 or 168 megabytes. It should, if you have a faster connection, it should just download it within no time. So I will go and download this 64-bit. So I'm just going to click on this. When I click on this, it is going to go and then I will save it. So it is going to download. As you can see, I have 21 seconds, 19 seconds remaining, and then I could go and then I could download. So what I would suggest is, once you download it, you should be installing it. It's an executable, so once you double click on that, it'll get installed, right? For one, I don't want to install it because I already have it, right? As you can see, I already have it, so no need for me to install it, right? Okay, so there is I have a MacBook Pro. Is it going to work in Mac? Of course, it will work on Mac, Nageshwar. It'll work on Mac. There is no issues. It will work on Mac. Now, if I have to put a number to what % of companies are using Mac, I would say probably like 30% are using Mac, and 70% probably are using a combination of Windows and Unix, Linux. So Mac is fine, but try and also have a Windows so that you don't feel yourself handicapped when an interview question comes your way where they would ask you that oh, we cannot consider you because you have experience only with Mac, and unfortunately we are all Windows based. So I mean, never give them an opportunity to reject you based on something that you should not be doing, meaning that if you can afford to have a Windows machine as well as a Mac, try to work on both. Right? That way your resume looks much better because you can say that I'm well versed in both Mac as well as Windows. All right. Okay. Now let us move on. So first thing first, you have to have Java installed on your machine. So I hope installation of Java should not be a problem. You should be able to do it. Once you install Java, do me a favor, right? Remember this. Even after you install Java, once you type Java here again, it will still say that Java is not installed. Why? Because when you open this box, when you open this, right? When you open this, at that time there was no Java. So it is still looking at your machine at that state. So what you do, you close it, and then you open it again by typing CMD and type that command again, Java hyphen version, in fact. Let me spell it out as version, and it should say that you have whatever version of Java. Okay, so that's that, installing Java. Next thing is now we have to do some automation. So let's say they hire you, right? We are going through a scenario. Let me go through a scenario where think that you have been selected, right? And this is your task that they have given you. They say that, you know what? I want you, let's say, Jacqueline, I want you to show me the automation test that you had performed using Selenium IDE for this application. Let's say they have given you, they have hired you, a company, a huge, big company called TrainingRite had, you would say that was not even funny. So anyway, so here, let's say you have been asked to do an automation test for the following, wherein they say that TrainingRite has an application, shopping cart application we have, wherein, think about it, this is just for demo purpose for you folks so that you can understand much better. Now, a lot of people, they show other training companies, they show you how to do the testing on Amazon.com or eBay.com or some other site which is not owned by them, right? Now, think about it. What are the chances, and I want you to hear me out, what are the chances that when you do automated testing on Amazon.com or eBay.com or you fill in the blank.com, what are the chances that you will ever find a bug? Because they are already out there. When developers, when they build it, they had a team of testers who would have tested it rigorously day and night, everything, to find out that there are no bugs, right? And then the refined product comes out into the production, and that's what you are testing on. So what is the probability that you would ever find a bug there? Chances are almost nil that you would find a bug there. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to take you through the development stages when something develops, right? That is probably like in the first build of that, stable build of that, right? Stable in the sense that, okay, it is doing whatever it is supposed to do, but if there are any bugs, all the bugs are not tested, the complete application is not tested, so we are in build one. So I will imagine this as build one, right? So we will be doing some testing of it, and eventually you and I, while doing the testing in this course, will find out some bugs, right? So you can actually go and find out the bugs, how the bugs look like in a real life scenario. When you're working on a project, how do bugs happen? How can you find out a bug? You will go through that experience here. Right? Now, I could have very easily taken you to Amazon.com, right? And there we could do the same thing. Let's say they also have a search. They have a lot of information here. Just to, take away your focus, you have your Harry Potters, you have your, different things down in here, and you have these watches, you have this, it's taking away your concentration. But the main functionality there is what? To open an account, right? So you can log in. So we have the same thing for logging in, right? So you have to log in here. So username, how do you test this login? How do you do a sign up, right? This is a sign up of that. You do a login of that. And then after you do the logging and all that, you have to do, let's say, like an e-commerce application. You are searching for something. So when you search for a product, let's say I'm searching for a product, and I try to keep my catalog, my inventory minimum. I have not bloated it by having everything under the sun in this application. Let's say this application is in e-commerce and you are interested in buying some TVs or cameras. So you would search for a TV. Probably you know the brand that you want to buy. A lot of people, they go with the Sony. So we say Sony TV. And guess what? Shame on us for not having Sony TV. But this is build one. I intentionally, in my requirements or the documentation that I will give you, I will say that when you search for Sony TV, you should be able to find all those Sony TVs. So when you are searching, you're not finding. Right there is like something you would say that I searched for Sony TV. I did not find it. Right? So now let's take our thing back to, let's say, how about Panasonic, right? So you search for Panasonic and you found those Panasonic. Okay, so that was a search, right? Now let's take it to the next level. I am doing a manual, no automation, no nothing, manual, simple manual testing, right? Okay, now what is the experience? It's a shopping cart. What do you do if you go to any grocery store? Same concept. You take your card, you're going from aisle to aisle, and doing what? You like something, you add to your cart. So I like this TV, so let me add it to my cart. I add it to my cart. So it is saying that, hey, you added one Panasonic TV, and this is going to cost you $345, but wait, you have an online discount of $101.25, so your grand total is $243. Wow, I like it. I like it. So I'm going to buy it for my brother-in-law, right? I mean, you should always keep your in-laws very happy. Very happy. You should keep them if you want. No, really, this learn from my experience. You should, right? Mother-in-laws should always be invited, kept in your house for days. Never. Anyway, so coming back, so you do, let's say I like it so much that I want to gift it to all my in-laws, right? My brother-in-law is getting one, my sister-in-law is getting one, and I am also getting one. So 3 TVs. So I added that. I have to recalculate my order, correct? So let me see, if I recalculate, is this going to change? If it doesn't change, I have a bug. Agree? Right? So now, this is all manual testing, my friend. Right? Let's not focus too much. Let's not go crazy about automation yet. Right? Focus on the manual test. So I will recalculate. Lo and behold, I have, well, if I multiply 345 by 3, it is going to be 1,035. Oh, good. Beautiful. And if I take away $103 from that, I have $931.25. Everything is good. I like it. I want to proceed to checkout. So I go to checkout. Here, what do I have to do? Well, it's the time to pay. Right? So I got to enter my information. So I will be saying, that's me. And I would say that, okay, that's that, and that is that, and state, and 07652, and I am going to put my phone number, and how am I going to pay for this purchase? Now notice they have Visa, MasterCard, American Express. What if they want to pay by Discover? Well, we don't accept it. Is that a bug? Well, in the documentation, if they say that, check for the following cards, and if in the requirements, if you have Visa, Master, American Express, Discover, Diner, then I am missing that. So you could put it in your report that, okay, the GUI doesn't display the other one. But let's worry about the happy path scenario, as we call it. Happy path scenario is just test what is there. So here I have Visa. So I'm going to put, I'm not going to put the exact Visa number. So I'm just going to put some garbage number. So this is the Visa, right? Now, what are the chances that somebody would ever put zeros? We are all good people, right? We always will pull out our own credit card, will not take anybody else's credit card, and we will put the right number. So we're going to put this number, and don't copy this number. This is not a valid number. Just typed it, right? I did not pull my credit card out of my wallet. I can tell you that. Okay, so this I do. But one case should be, you should be putting this. In another case is, you should do all the negative testing as well. So you try to become sort of like a hacker, like a bad man, like a villain. So villain, they don't do the right thing. They always do the wrong thing. So they want to see, can I get away if I put all zeros in here, right? Let's do the testing with that. So after the happy path scenario where you have put everything, let's go with this. Let me put the pass date as the expiration. Can I put 12/2001, right? And shipping information, of course, I mean, shame on the developer who had created this, in this case me, for not putting something here like a checkbox, and when you check on that, it should have copied everything. Now I'm making it, type again. But who knows? Maybe this is the design. Maybe the requirement is we should not have a checkbox, because if we made an error here with the address, right? Accidentally, if I made the error, now by checking it, even the shipping will be wrong. So maybe the need is, okay, type it again, my friend, right? So we type it again, and this time it might be going to a different place. So we can put whatever it is, or we can put the same place. So that's that, and we will put the town and the state and then a zip and the phone number, and this is going to be our moment of truth, which is I am going to submit the order and see. Now, what does common sense tells you? Common sense tells me that it should not go, right? If it goes, and if I have an order number, right? Thank you for your order. Your order number is da 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 da. What are you telling me? Bug, defect in this application. Well, congratulations. You found out the first defect. You found out the first defect. Now you have like a muscle now, and then you're gonna, write in your report, I found a defect when I entered the credit card number as that. Mr. Developer, you have written a bad application. It gives you that. Well, congratulations again, because you were smart enough that you tried with a different set of data and you produced that bug. Testers' job, good testers are those who will do anything and everything, not to make the developer look bad. No, that's not the intent, but to help the company so that we save our face down the road. Somebody should not come back and say that, hey, your application sucks, man. We can put the zeros and then it takes the order, right? And then forget about they saying that who was the developer. The first thing they would say, who was the tester? Right? So I don't want you to look bad. So that's why you should start to do the testing with every possible case. Okay, so this was a manual test. You agree? Right? Now the question is, how can you automate it? If I don't have to enter all of these things again and again, because we tested it with this set, right? Now let's say if I have to test it with some other number, this number. How about number? How about if I put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, right? I am being naughty. When you are naughty, you could do anything. So I'm a tester. I want to try. I want to break it so that, we can make this better product down the road. So I will try every such combination. So if I have to come every time I have to type something different, I would be spending all day just doing this. So there must be a better way. The better way is automation. What you do in automation is basically you will make use of a tool. What tool can you make use of? Well, there's so many tools out there in the industry. There's QTP, of course. There is Selenium. There is your IBM's tools. But this session is about Selenium. So why should I even care about talking about QTP? For that, you have to come back to the session tomorrow, because we are starting a QTP class tomorrow. So do come back tomorrow and then see how we do it for QTP, right? Day one is free for all. You don't have to pay anything if you're not doing anything. If you have a boring programs on the TV, you keep watching TV every day. So just come spend, get bored by a different guy. You would get bored by me, and I'm a different guy, so be it for just one day. Right? You don't have to, because after today, neither we will bother you by sending a link, nor you would come back. Probably if we are not doing a good job, if we are not making sense, then you would not pay me to listen to me, right? You would not do that. So, but if I'm making some sense, probably you would like to learn this, and by paying $300-400 at the end of this 1 month, and if you're making like $75,000, $80,000, $90,000, I think that is a good return on your investment. After marriage, because marriage usually is one of the best decisions a man or a woman makes. So after you getting married, this could be the next best decision that you have taken, that okay, I have joined Selenium training, because after I took this training from Selenium, I learned so much that I got a job, and wow, I'm happy. That should be the intention. That should be the goal. Now, is it possible? Because the market, it is possible. It's not me that is going to provide you a job. There's so many jobs out there, right? We have to learn. We have to learn those things. Are we going to learn that here in this 4 weeks? That's what you have to decide. That's what you have to judge, because I am telling you, we are going to. So why don't we get started and do some automation here? Well, let's get started. Let's do some automation. So to do automation, I need a tool. Which tool I want? I need Selenium. And we said we want Selenium IDE because using Selenium IDE, I could do a record and a run, right? Because today I don't intend to do what? I don't intend to do my coding today, right? You don't blame me for not doing the coding today because on day one, I should not be doing the coding on day one, right? So let's do some Selenium IDE. Where is Selenium IDE? Do I have it on my machine? How do I get it? Well, your friend, right? Who's your friend? Bring up Google, right? So I'm just gonna go here, click on Google, and I will say download. What do I want to download? Selenium IDE, I guess. Well, hit enter. Here it is. Life is so simple with Google. I mean, I wish, no, I'm saying too much now. Somebody said, why don't you complete your sentence, right? When you said you wish, what do you wish? Well, like how this happy Google is. When I type something, Google does it. I'm so happy. Google is happy serving me, and I'm happy using Google again and again. I come back. I wish, you know where I'm going with that, right? So I better stop. Okay, so you go and then you download Selenium IDE. So you click on that. That brings you to this site. And there are certain things which are very sacred to us, right? Like, our holy books, right? So there is a saying, like, if there's something very important, this should be like your Bible. So this site should be like your Bible. Meaning that you should religiously keep coming in here. You should pay respects to this site. So the site is Selenium HQ, right? Selenium HQ. Here, there are some tabs: projects, downloads, documentation, da 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 da. So we are coming here to download. This is the site. I am going to give you the link of that. Now here, you will find everything you need here, right? Right now, I need that. I need Selenium IDE, right? We have it here. Now, very soon, I need what? RC server. We will come back in here. Very soon, I will need a web driver. So you will find me coming back here again and again and again. So right now, here is my purpose, Selenium IDE. Let me focus on this. Let's not worry about RC server. Let's not worry about web driver. We will come back here, right? Probably tomorrow or not tomorrow, in my next class, the second class, I'll come back here for RC or for web driver. And right now, my focus is Selenium IDE. Let's get to understand what Selenium IDE is. I promise you that I don't want to read, right? I don't want to read things to you, but occasionally you find me breaking my promise, right? After all, I'm a human being, so I'm required, as God stated, that humans will break their promises. So I am going to break my promise, and I'm going to read something. What am I going to read? Maybe one sentence in here, just this one, right? Okay, this tells me, right, and repeat after me. Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. It's a Firefox plugin, meaning Selenium IDE will work only if you have Firefox, right? I mean, don't come to any conclusions very soon. I will, smart people, they will find some loopholes. They will find some tricks, right? So I will show you, the smart people, some tricks as how to make Selenium IDE work for, whatever you need to work with. But right now, day one, let us follow the rules, and it says that Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin which records and plays back user interactions. Who user? You and I. We will be performing some interactions with the browser. What sort of interactions will be performing with the browser? I'll say I will click on that. I will type something here. I'm going to click on this. So those are my interactions with my browser. So whatever interactions I perform, it is going to record that. That is the job of the IDE, right? Okay, first of all, do I have Selenium IDE on my machine? For that, to find out that, since it is a Firefox plugin, the more important question that I have to ask myself is, do I have Firefox on my machine? Right? What is a Firefox? Firefox is a browser. Do I have Firefox on my machine? Now, if you see, I don't know if you paid attention or not, but I have been using Firefox because this is Firefox. This is Firefox. Right here. If you see, this is Firefox. So I have Firefox. You should also have Firefox. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. Now, if you say, what if I don't have Firefox? How do I get Firefox? Well, I think you know the answer, right? You know where to go, right? Yeah. So you would go to Google and say, download Firefox, and then download Firefox. And downloading Firefox would not take more than, a few seconds. So go to Google and say, download Firefox. That's a browser. So it brings you, don't click on this top, poor people, they're trying to advertise, and then, when you click on that, it'll cost them money. So just, respect that. Don't read that. Don't click on that. Click here, right? If it is an ad, when you click on that, it'll cost them money. So why, so just go in here, click on that. And here, you should be able to download Firefox. Right? I already have Firefox, so I will not going to download. You have to download that, and you have to install it. It takes a couple of seconds to install Firefox. Once Firefox is installed, use Firefox. Hear me again. Hear me again. Please use Firefox to come to this site. Right? Don't use Internet Explorer. Don't use Google Chrome, because Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. You have to use Firefox to come here. Use Firefox to come here and do what? And download this. Usually, you see, our mind is usually made up of certain things. To me, only because, I have been using internet when it was not even there, meaning that I belong to a time when there was no internet. And most of you probably are, but, I cannot tell that to my kids, because they are like, they look at me. They don't say a word. They just look at me, and I know they are only respecting me because I'm their father. Otherwise, they would have said so. So basically, they look at like as if like you come from a different planet, because what? How can you live without an internet? Well, for me, I lived without a TV. I lived without radio. Was when I was born, there was radio, but there was no TV. Right? So, I mean, most of you have stories about if you come from a third world country like India. India is very rich right now, but when I left about so many years ago, at that time, it was a poor country. So we used to go to a place where there would be one TV, and there would be like 50 people, and we have to stand outside the door, and that guy would be like so boasting about him having a black and white TV, and then he would allow you could come inside. And then now I would go with my younger brother and my younger sister. He would take probably me inside, and my sister is like crying there. She can't get in because the guy says, no, you can't come in. That's so that's that. But now you would say you are digressing. This was supposed to be Selenium class. You were supposed to tell me about Selenium. What in the world has a TV to do with Selenium? Well, okay, let's come back. I have to download this. So the way I'm going to be downloading this is download this. Click on that. You download. It takes so. Basically, what happens is we make up our mind about things. Download means that we think that it will take a long time to download. No, it doesn't take a long time to download. Depending on what you're downloading, this is a plugin. Plugin takes a blink of an eye to download. So I did that, and it says that, hey, you're trying to download something. Should I allow? Right? Do you want to allow to download it? I'll say, yeah, go ahead. So now it downloaded that. And not only downloaded, this box comes up and says that, hey, do you trust there are so many things that are getting installed in here? And to give you an example here, it is saying that, hey, there is Ruby getting installed, Python, C#, and Java, and this and that. Well, I told you in the beginning here, if you recall, I said here, drawing your attention to this, that Selenium can do Java, can do Ruby, can do C#, can do Perl, can do Python. So exactly that's what it is trying to do. It is trying to, it doesn't know in which language you're going to test it. So it is saying, shall I, so you can allow it or not allow it. So I'm just going to say, because we never know. I'm going to be testing about C# and whatnot. So let's allow, download. And guess what? Done, downloaded already. You're like, what? Where did it download? I could not even see. Well, that's a plugin. It takes so fast to download. Now it says restart. Now it's not talking about restarting your machine. It's talking about restarting your Firefox. So if I do that, now Firefox is closed and then it is going to start again. So Firefox is restarting now, right? So when Firefox restarts, basically, as you can see, it restarted again. Right? So we are back. Now I want to make sure that my Selenium IDE is installed. How can I make sure that IDE is installed? Well, this is what I got to do. Now I want you to please focus, please pay attention to what I'm doing. Now I will take my mouse and go to this tools. I will take my mouse and go to tools, right? So I erase it and I am going to tools. I click on tools. When you click on tools, look in here. This is Selenium IDE. Now I have Selenium IDE installed. When I click on that, it is going to open, and this is what it is. It opened. Now for a second, bear with me. When it opens, because I have used it for my previous class and probably I did not close it right, so that's why you are seeing a lot of code in here. So you should not be seeing anything like that. So what you should be seeing is this. Hang on for a second. Bear with me. You should be seeing this. So now, forget about it opening. So let me just go tools and do a Selenium IDE. It should look like that. It should look like that, right? Okay. Many a times, if not many times, at least sometimes, I have people come in and calling me on the phone, right? I mean, I have a job. Training is my part-time thingy that I like to do so I do it, right? This is not my bread and butter that I have to do it as a full-time. I mean, I work. I have a huge big team to manage. I'm pretty occupied at work during daytime. I have people calling me at daytime and say that, you know what, you showed us that I should go to tools, and I don't even see the tools there. I don't even see any tools there. Well, that is because, let's say, if it was like that, right? If it is like that, of course, you're not going to see the tools. That is because the menu is not enabled. So do me a favor, right-click on that. See here, menu. Click on that, and the tools are going to pop up, right? You don't really have to call me for that. You got to try your things first. So what I would say, there's no harm in talking to me, and if I could take your phone call, I would definitely do that. But what I encourage you folks to do is try on your own, right? Figure it out. I should be used as a last resort, not as a first resort. So if you have exhausted all your options, if you have tried this, if you have tried Google, everything, then you should be looking into the Google groups. You should be asking your friends, and then if you get nowhere, then of course give me a shout, and then I will definitely help you out. Okay, so here is my IDE. So here we open the IDE. Now, this IDE is a tool, right, to record and run. Selenium IDE is a tool to record and play the actions that we will perform. Okay, like any other tool, Microsoft Word is a tool. Using Microsoft Word, what do? You basically go and create your resume, right? So if you want to create your resume, you run to Microsoft Word, and in Microsoft Word, you have these menu items on the top and all that. So here also we have, this is also a tool. You don't create resumes with this tool. You create automated scripts with this tool, right? But it also has a menu items. Like in Microsoft Word, you will use this file to open, save. Here also we'll be doing things like that, right? Okay, so if you take a look, you know that this is the menu items on the top. Next comes this base URL. Base URL, here you should give the address of the application that you are going to test. Now, let me very quickly tell you that Selenium, right? When we talk about applications in the year 2014, right? It changes with time. In the year 2014, when we talk about testing, right? You are testing what? You're testing applications, right? Applications. Now, applications can be, right, at least classified as something called a client server application, something called web applications, and something called mobile applications, right? So right now, as of now, I'm not going to go into the mainframe and all that, but these are the main excuse me, applications out there. In this course, our focus is going to be, my focus is going to be testing of the web applications. Selenium cannot do client server or Windows applications. It cannot do the testing. It can do web applications. It can do mobile applications. We will not be doing mobile applications as a part of this course, right? I mean, if you really want to learn mobile applications, I have to shamelessly pitch you my other course that you could take, which is the mobile apps testing course. Right? So that is a in-depth course that will teach you everything as how to do mobile apps testing. That's again 16 hours or 8 sessions, and these are the different topics that we'll be covering as a part of this course. So that's that, right? So in this course, we will not be doing mobile applications because it's a huge topic. I cannot do justice to that particular subject matter in like 2 or 3 hours. I cannot do that, right? So we will not be doing that. We'll just be doing the web applications. Okay, that brings us to another interesting topic. If you're doing web applications are something that run in a browser. So there are multiple browsers. To start with, there is a Firefox browser, popular browser. There is Chrome. There is Internet Explorer. We will be doing the testing on all of these and many more other browsers, right? There is Opera, there is Safari, and then this and that, right? So we'll be looking into those browsers as well. But these are like the most popular browsers. So we will definitely be testing Firefox, Chrome, and Internet Explorer. Right? Multiple browser testing we will be doing as a part of this course. All right. Okay. So with that said, on your machine, you should, if you don't have Internet Explorer, everyone has, right? If you don't have Chrome, download Chrome soon. Before you come to the next class, you have to download Chrome. Download Firefox. Of course, that you have to do anyhow. All right. Okay. So now my test case is to test an e-commerce application, a shopping cart application using Firefox as the browser. I'm going to do that. So how do I do it? Basically, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring up my Firefox, and I am going to bring up my application, right? So let me go to my application, which is online, TrainingRite online. This is my application, so I'm just going to paste this for you in case you need that. Okay, so now we have to do some testing. So forget about testing. First of all, I have to do the recording of it. Right? To do the recording, I'm going to start off again. So bring the application. After you bring the application, go to Tools and say Selenium IDE, and this will open up, right? Okay. Here in the base URL, you have to type this URL. So I have already copy pasted, so I'm going to paste that, right? Okay. Now look at this box. Or this button, right? Focus on this button. If you see this, let me just bring my mouse on top of that, and it will talk to me. Notice that it says now recording. It's already recording. What is it recording? Anything that you put in here, this is the URL. So on this URL, if I perform anything over here, it will start to record. Okay? Well, this is what we have to do. Now let us go to the application. When I go to the application, this will automatically get minimized, which is fine. Now let me do my testing, right? Let me focus on my testing. What do I want to test? I want to test for some Panasonic TVs, right? So I will type Panasonic, right? Panasonic. And if I want to put TV, I'll put TV. If I don't want to put TV, that's fine. And do what? After I typed on that, I have to click on this go, correct? Okay, I clicked on the go. Then I have this TV, right? I mean, I have only one TV, so I have to select that, right? So if I have more TV, I can select more. So right now, just do a happy path scenario, right? Just take it as it may, right? So here we go, and I want to add it to the cart. I added it to the cart. Beautiful. Now I have one TV. Now again, the same thing. I want to give this TV to this time to my friends, right? It's a cheap little one. I'm going to India, let's say, and I want to take this TV to India. Now you would say it should be the reverse, my friend. They will give you some TVs. They are so rich, filthy rich. We came here to make some few dollars, but it's the wrong time, I guess, right? So they make more than us. It's the reverse immigration they're talking about now, right? People used to come here to United States, and particularly, I have to tell this to Larry and to Jacqueline and to Francis and to Renee and to Sherry. Don't please get offended with what I say. I'm just saying these things just for the sake of saying. Don't give any importance to me. I just babble. So just ignore. A lot of people from around the globe, they used to come to America in search of some dollars, right? I mean, that was the case. Now we have some funny stories. Americans are going to Bangalore. Americans are going to Bangalore, and because it is the reverse. And who knows, and probably it is happening right now. Very soon, or maybe in the next 10 years, all of us will be going to China and to India. So be prepared for that. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, I can tell you for the next 50 or next 100, in my lifetime, I don't think anything like that is ever going to happen. So don't be, don't give any thought to that. Anyways, let's come back and discuss about, okay, this is where we are. So we got to go and then buy some more TVs here. So let me put a 3 and see if this changes. So now I am coming here to this product quantity, and I change that quantity, and I click on this recalculate order, right? I did that, and I have this 931. Good. Now I'm going to go to the checkout. Okay, beautiful. I click on that, and I came in here. The next thing I want to do here is I want to enter some information. So I'm just going to go with, let's say, my information, and 144 Fairway Terrace, and this is Paramus, New Jersey 07652, and we will put our company phone number, and let's say I'm paying by Visa. I'm going to come in here, enter my credit card information. I'll just go again. I'm repeating myself, a happy path scenario, meaning that imagine that this is a Visa credit card number, and CVV2 at the back of the card, 3-digit is that, and this is 12, and this is expiring next year. And I want to send it to my brother-in-law. Let's say his name is John Smith. You would say that, when did John Smith become your, oh no, it's my friend I'm sending it to. Okay, 123, he lives on Main Street, and he lives in New York, right? And zip code is that, and his phone number is 212-555-1212, and we are sending these 3 TVs to him. So I will submit the order. Right? I put in my credit card and all that. I submit the order. My expectation right now is this order should go through, correct? Because I put the card number, I put everything. That is called the happy path scenario. I put everything, I took care of everything. It should work. And if it works, yay, right? If it works. If it doesn't work, bug, still yay. Because me as a tester, I'm like, I found something. So in this case, there's nothing to be found. We are like, okay, good. We got everything to work. This is the order number 102817. Da, 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 da. Okay, we did something good. Now, all this we did, but behind the scenes, something was happening. What is happening behind the scenes? Let me close the browser, all right, if I want to, or just ignore about closing the browser. Let me come back and look into this bad boy. Wow, what I see here is a lot of stuff had happened here. Many things had happened here, and I don't even know what is all this about. I don't know what this is, but something is in there. Now, rather than explaining you what it is right now, what was the purpose of using this? To record, right? So is it still recording? Yeah. But am I done with the recording? Yeah. So what should I do? Stop the recording. Okay, I click on that, my recording stopped. How do I know? It says click to record. So that's like a toggle, right? One time you click, it starts recording. What will it record? Anything you would do, it is going to record. Right now, I'm done with the recording. Okay, if I'm done with the recording, I stop the recording. How about saving this test case? Let's save it. So give it a name. What name? Okay, file, save test case as, right? Okay, where am I going to save? This box pops up. It says that, my friend, where do you want to save it? So what I do on my computer, if I go to my C drive, we have been providing different trainings and all that. So you would find this computer a little busy. Advanced QTP, Android development, Bugzilla, business analyst, Calabash, coded UI, that. Okay, I want you to take you to a folder called Selenium. I want you to go to a folder called, so you don't have a folder called Selenium. Guess what? Make one folder called Selenium on your C drive. You are investing your time and money with this, right? Let's make the best use of your investment, right? Make a folder called Selenium. After you make a folder called Selenium, when you double click on that, it is going to be empty, right? In my case, I have so many things which eventually will happen to you as well. Right now, it will be empty. Right? So down the road, we'll be creating so many other folders like all jars, this and that. Right now, it's going to be empty. Create a folder in there called IDE test cases. Right? So when you create that, it will be empty. This is where we will save it. So if you come back here and if you take a look into it, I was saving. Where am I saving? C Selenium IDE test case. Let me give it a name. What is that we are trying to do? We are testing a test case, right? So it is a TC for a test case, and this test case, let's say, is the very first test case which we are doing. Okay, 001, right? Underscore. What is this about? This is about a TrainingRite application, and this is a shopping cart, right? Shopping cart, and let's say we want to give it a build. So this is build. I don't want to call it build one. I would rather call it, let's say we go with 06 is the month, 02 is the year, and 2014. So this, when I look at this down the road, when I become old, and if I look into it, I know that, there was a time in the year 2014, on the 2nd of June, I was teaching a class, and this is what I have done. Well, realistically, it's not going to be like that, but what is it going to be in 2-3 months if you are working on a project and if you want to go back and look into what test cases did we do for this build, so you could look into that. So that's why naming should be properly be done, right? So I have named it this way. Every company has their own protocol, own naming conventions, so you follow that. Right? So in real life, this could be like a Bank of America, this could be Merck, this could be Verizon, this could be whatever company you hopefully, God willing, would be working for. Nice, good companies making good, decent dollars, right? That's what you would be putting in there. Right now, we will save it. Okay, I got a name, I saved it. Okay, next thing is, if you see here, right here, there's something called fast. And then, of course, there is something called slow, right? So fast means that it is going to run very fast. Right? If it runs very fast, this is like a robot, right? Robot automation means fast, robot, very fast. Now we want, this is our very first test case. We should be happy that we created it, and we want to make sure that it runs, and we should be taking and enjoying every moment of what it is doing. So I, for one, like to run it for slow for now, because I want to enjoy what I did, right? When you're enjoying time, right? You want the time to last for a long time, right? So that's why you put it in slow motion. And the next thing here is you see this and you see this one. So what it is here I have only one test case. Imagine down the road we're not going to have just one test case. We'll have like a login, we'll have like a new customer, we'll have like an invoicing, we'll have like a receipt, sending a receipt. We have to change the cancel the order. We have to have a customer service issue. An application, a business depends on a lot of the features that you would be doing, right? So all those test cases would come here. So if multiple test cases comes in here, that becomes a suite, right? So play entire test suite. So when you have multiple test cases, if you want to run all those test cases, then you would have it as a suite. Right now, I have only one test case, so I'm going to be playing this test case. So let me play that test case and see what is going to happen. Now, what I'm going to do is in the background, I'll just close this, and I'll keep. I have the browser, right? I will intentionally just go to, let's say, Google. I'm on Google, just so that you see, you enjoy the whole thing, how it runs. So this is, I'm trying to run right now. So what I want to do is when it is running, I want to see what goes in the browser. So I want this to be small, so or small size. So I will just reduce the size of it, right? And so that, and I reduce the size, and I sort of like keep it on the side here, right? So that I can just run it, but focus on what is happening in here. So I'm just gonna click on this, right? And I also want to see what is happening here. So see, focus on the line by line as it goes. Look into the colors that change and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna keep it, right? But at the same time, I will focus on the browser and see what is happening. So here I go. I am beginning to do automation here. Here we start. First line first. It will take you there, okay? And if you see, it had typed in there, and it changed that 4 to 3 to recalculate order. It is typing now that. And as you can see, it is typing. This is information. This is like beige color, and notice this is happening. All this is happening. It's gonna send it to my friend John Smith. It's gonna do that, New York, and put their number. And now, hopefully, click on that, and lo and behold, all my test is done. And if I expand now, I should see here a green arrow, right? Right here, a green bar rather, green bar, and everything is green. So what we have done is we have created an automated IDE automated script. Now, you would say that, how did you say that you have created script? It doesn't look to me like a script. These are some commands. This is like open command, this and that. Where is the script? Well, that is going to be the surprising thing that I will start with in the next class. I'm going to show you that this, whatever we have done, it not only created all these commands, but behind the scenes, it created the complete Java code and everything it created for you. Everything is done for you. All the code is created. Everything is created. The only thing that you need to know now is take that code and put it in the right tool. If you have QTP, in QTP, what code will you put? You would put VB script. If you have SOAP UI, what code would you put? You would put Groovy. If you have Load Runner, what code you would put? You would put C language. So if you have Selenium and if you have Java code, where would you put it? There is a tool. There is a tool that you could use. There are many tools, but the most important tool that industry is using today, that tool is called Eclipse. That tool is called Eclipse. So we will be using, see that Eclipse for Selenium. So we will be using this tool in the next class. I will be showing you everything about how to download. I mean, honestly, I don't really have to show you anything anymore about how to download. You will kill me because you'll say that, come on, you don't have to tell me. I know. I have to go to Google and I have to say, download Eclipse, and it'll take me to the site and I could download Eclipse. Well, there you go. See, you are telling me. I mean, I don't have to tell you, and that is what is going to happen. Fast forward this 4 weeks, 8 sessions, you will tell me everything, and in fact, you're going to go and sit in that interview, and you're going to tell them that, look, I know everything. I know Selenium Web Driver. I know JUnit framework. I know TestNG framework. I could create an excellent data-driven framework, and I could do AND. I could do Maven. I could do Subversion. I could do this. I could do that, and they're like, welcome aboard. And exactly that's going to happen. So taking you into this is the next class where we will be talking about this part, Eclipse. And in Eclipse, we are going to start with you, without even moving your finger, you will be creating excellent automated scripts, right? You would be putting it in Eclipse, and in the next class, you will almost become like, okay, I know almost everything that I need to know, but I don't know what it means. And what it means, what you're seeing here, what it means, what you're seeing here, seeing all this, this is what we will be studying in the next 8 classes. I will teach you every little line of code, right? Every little line of code. I can guarantee you this. I will guarantee you this. Every line of code that you are seeing here, every line of code. If I wake you up after this course at 2 o'clock in the morning and I tell you, I want you to go and then write the page objects code for your Selenium, you would say that, okay. And then you're going to, within like another 15-20 minutes, you'll give me that. And that is the power of you putting your time for the next 4 weeks. With that, I am closing my shop for today. I am done for today. For all of you folks who are thinking of registering and have not registered, well, go to TrainingRite.com and you can go and then you can register. If you're taking a single course are the Selenium is $399, but you could take 2 courses, 3 courses, 4 courses. So just to give you an example, like if you go and take Ruby Cucumber, right? Ruby Cucumber is almost $500, right? Ruby Cucumber is $500. Now, if you take Ruby Cucumber and if you take Selenium, which is $400, $900 you have spent right there for 2 courses. Now, what about if you had paid like $200 or $300 more and you get 6 courses? So you get 6 courses for $11.99. So that is under $200 per course if you want to. Now, not everybody is interested in taking 6 courses. You say that, why should I take 6 courses? I came here to learn Selenium. Give me Selenium. Well, thank you. Just take Selenium, right? Here is Selenium. You go look for Selenium and take Selenium, or click on this pricing and discount and scroll down, and you will find a 2-course package, a 3-course package, a 6-course package, and then the individual courses. So here is your QTP, and here is your probably your Selenium right here. Take that, and we will, once you buy it, we will send you the link to come to the class in the next session, which is Wednesday. Now, do me a favor. I request all of you, even though you are a paid member, like many of you have already paid, we are training one of our new girls in here. So we want to show them, like, even people who have already paid and all that. You please send us a request that I want to attend. I have already paid. I want to attend the Selenium session, and we will send you the link. If you do not get a link by let's say 2 o'clock on Wednesday, that means that there is some problem. So you either email us, you call us, but you should get your link by 2 o'clock. Otherwise, maybe there is some confusion. Maybe either we don't have your email address properly or something is not right. So every day you should get, definitely by 4 o'clock you should get your link, right? If there is a class on Wednesday, right? Now, there is 100% there is a class on Wednesday, but I'm saying that if there is a class today, you should get the invitation by 2 o'clock. If there is a class on Wednesday, you should get the invitation by 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock maximum. All right? Okay, so I'll let you guys go unless you have a question. I'll take your questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'll let you go. You decide if you want to come back. We'll send the links to only those of you folks who have registered with us. If not, next time probably you can come back and then register. But we enjoyed having you in this session, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. So good luck with everything. If you have a question, I'll wait. You can type the question or you can ask me a question. If not, I will let you go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll come back and see you on Wednesday. All right? Have a good night.